Welcome back to GSS 2021. I'm John Paul Greener from Tsinghua's Office of International Affairs, and I'll be moderating this masterclass on developing leaders in innovation to be delivered by Professor Patrick Rau. Our distinguished speaker is Vice Dean of the Tsinghua University Global Innovation Exchange, the GIX Institute, which is Tsinghua's signature innovation platform and collaboration with the University of Washington and Microsoft. He's a professor of the Department of Industrial Engineering and former director of the Institute of Human Factors and Ergonomics at Tsinghua University. He received his PhD at the School of Industrial Engineering at Purdue University. He's an adjunct professor of Georgia Tech University, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and Yonsei University. He's a visiting professor of Chuo University and Aachen University of Technology, and a visiting scholar of Microsoft Research Asia, and a distinguished young scholar of the National Science Foundation of China. Professor Rau's research areas include human factors, engineering, human-computer interaction, user insights and experience innovation, cross-cultural design, accessibility, and service design and evaluation. This masterclass will address questions such as, what is effective leadership for the future? What is the connection between leadership and technological innovation? And how do leaders become successful in an innovative context? And a reminder to all GSS participants that to please keep those great questions coming on the comment section of the Xuetang X platform. And in your questions, be sure to include your name, your institution, and the country or region that you're located in. Let's now welcome our distinguished speaker for this masterclass. Thank you, Professor Rau.
Good afternoon and good morning. I'm Patrick Rau. I'm very happy and very pleased to share with you my vision for two keywords today: leadership and innovation. In the introduction, you may learn about my background. I'm with the Department of Industrial Engineering and also the Institute of Global Innovation Exchange and the Institute of Human Factors and Ergonomics. Yes, this is just one example myself, like to at Tsinghua to innovate cross boundaries. Talked about leadership. Let's think about the definition of leadership. A leader is any person like you who can influence others, who can influence individuals and a group of people and groups, help others, help them to establish goals and guides them toward achievement of these goals. Actually, I'm very happy to work with many very talented, excellent students, graduate students, master's students, PhD students. Some even are just undergraduate students. I'm happy to work with them, and sometimes I'm very happy to be led by them. So, at Tsinghua, you can be here, you can lead people around you, your classmates, your friends, and maybe your professors, to achieve the goals. I give you some examples. Jack Ma. If you have heard about Alibaba, I think you're familiar with Jack Ma. He changed many people's lifestyles. He's one of the examples who influence individuals and groups. The next example, I think if you're familiar with Apple, if you use iPhone, then I think you know this gentleman, Steve Jobs. Surely he has influenced a lot of people. Not just IT, not just information technology. What about Henry Ford? Henry Ford. Have you heard about Henry Ford? Yeah, if you're familiar with history in technology, I think you know this name, Henry Ford. And when I say any person who can influence others, not just limited people like in China or in the United States, what about Konosuke Matsushita? He's the founder of Panasonic from Japan. He's also a very famous leader. So can you name any leaders around you? Hey, what about yourself? At Tsinghua, our mission is to develop leaders. We recruit, we welcome young, talented people. And I think you know one strength at Tsinghua is our engineering and science programs. We leverage emerging technologies to innovate, to address challenges, but remember, not just local challenges. We want to look beyond. We want to address global challenges. Like COVID-19 is a big challenge. We have faith in the battle. At war, we will win. We will go over. But there are still many, many, many other challenges on the face of the earth. At Tsinghua on campus in Beijing, in China, we have seen the improvement of quality of life. But there are still many people in the world need help. At Tsinghua, we expand students' capacity to be effective in leadership, meaning we don't just develop people's technical skills at Tsinghua. We develop leadership, leaders. We proudly say that because we understand our mission, our responsibility. If you're part of Tsinghua, you know you are responsible to help others, not just to achieve goals, also need to address global challenges. So we provide future leaders as tools. The tools to improve the effectiveness in the various roles they play or you play. Right, it's a little bit going too fast. Let me move back. Okay. After mission, let me share with our vision. Again, the keyword is global challenges. One of the examples is water. Later, I will share with you one example, how one of our students, very excellent students, deal with this very fundamental, very important issue. And it's also very important, and it's a global challenge. So we must cooperate across traditional boundaries. Like for myself, I'm very happy at Tsinghua. I have worked with professors and students from, say, a school of mechanical engineering. I have worked with professors from civil engineering. I have worked with my friends from the psychology department and school of management, design school. You know what? I can continue, but we don't have that much time. We bring top faculty and learners from cross disciplines. So the point is to innovate, to address global challenges, not just to solve one problem in one specific area. For sure, that's a good thing. But at Tsinghua, we aim high to address the global challenges. We need people. We need knowledge. We need skills from different areas. We collaborate So we have a chance to make some impact. And we don't just collaborate with professors, we also collaborate with people in industries, from government, experts, professionals, people all over the world. Just one example, like our faculty. Again, myself, I work with Department of Industrial Engineering. And at GIX, I work with colleague from School of Software and Computer Science, Academy of Arts and Design, so on and so forth. And with people, with faculty, students from different areas, I can tell you, I really enjoy working together. But how? The way we innovate is project-based learning. It doesn't sound very different, but indeed, it is very unique at Tsinghua because we have top people with passions from different areas. This project-based learning model allows students, researchers, professors, and also professionals from industries to work together to create solutions to address global challenges, for example, like health, sustainability, social equity, so on and so forth. So there are a lot of issues, and later I will share with you some of the examples. To have so many minds at the top, so many, we can work with very, very top innovators. And some we even call them dreamers. Well, daydreaming has different meaning at Tsinghua when we work on projects together. It's not just daydreaming. It's one way to work together to address global challenges. And we also address creativity a lot. At Tsinghua, you really want to be creative, and you enjoy working with creative people a lot, like myself. I'm so happy to work with so many young talented people, so many creative people. So I believe and I feel very happy. I learned a lot from them. How? Not just giving lectures, working together, working in projects. So we call it project-based learning. Learning while doing, not just not just doing homeworks, solve problems on the textbooks. And this is also why we want to bring people cross boundaries together to work on projects together. So just want to share with you some happy faces when they work together in labs. For example, like say a 3D printing lab. We have a chance to rapidly see how to implement our ideas. And even some very simple discussions, brainstorming sessions can be extraordinarily interesting and fun. And at Tsinghua, you are one of them. Which means, again, we need different perspectives to develop leaders in innovation. We need to understand people. We need to apply technologies. We need to combine them together, like the area I'm familiar with, human factors and ergonomics. We care about human beings, but we apply technologies and tools to improve people's quality of lives for human well-being. But not just by talking. We also design things. We design products, services. Sometimes it's prototypes, just to show the feasibility of our ideas. And when we say we care about people, human beings, we also care about issues in the society, at a society level. One example, I have worked with colleagues from sociology department regarding aging population. Aging population is a big issue, not just in China, in Japan, in Europe, in many places. And our city, our building, our universities, our technologies can be designed for older people, older users. So it is an issue at a society level, not just for individuals. And for this reason, we have to invite people from different departments. So here you can see, not just Department of Industrial Engineering, not just Academy of Arts and Design, Department of Sociology, and School of Architecture. The Dean of School of Architecture has been working with us on a topic called urban ergonomics. So when you think about our cities, can we design for older generation? I give you one fact. Out of 4 people at Beijing or Shanghai, like these super big cities in China, 1 out of 4. You think about the number of population. Meaning 25% of the population in Beijing or Shanghai actually are older, 60 or 65. And we see the increasing trend, meaning there will be more and more older people in big cities. Why? Better healthcare system, staying with next generation, and also have friends and colleagues in cities. This is why we need to work together to address this kind of a challenge. So again, we work with architecture professionals, people from Department of Sociology, psychologists. And don't forget, when we say we innovate, we have to think about entrepreneurship and business. We also want to see a lot of people can be very successful in terms of business. So this can briefly describe our approach. We provide interdisciplinary curriculum and project-based coursework, meaning doing projects, working with students on some projects are just daily lives. Just acquiring knowledge from textbooks, it's not exciting for students at Tsinghua. That's good. That's fundamental. That's for sure. We need that. But we also need to apply. We need to innovate. We need to change the world. So with that, work together doing projects. So by this way, we teach students to take an innovative idea from concept. Remember I said daydreaming has a different meaning at Tsinghua. We make dreams true, coming true by development, and we can also launch the ideas. We identify challenges and provide ongoing mentorings. There are different ways of working together, just like you are experiencing, you are working at the Global Summer School this year. So you work with people even remotely, not face-to-face, with mentors from different areas. We are ready. We are all very prepared for a global student cohort. And we want to bring students from different places of the world together, so we can drive solutions from ideas to make real impact. And this interdisciplinary model has a different name or different ways to construct. We call it TED. T means technology development. And we talked about one very special advantage if you're at Tsinghua is technology. You can find very, very good programs, EE, ME, CS, civil, all kinds of engineering programs, and also science programs. Based on that, we emphasize entrepreneurship. It has to be feasible, meaning the ideas. If you want to make it happen, it has to be sustainable in terms of business. Now, some people can really benefit, so we can continue and make a bigger impact. And also considering the feasibility, we have to be practical. Feasibility of ideas and dreams. And the next important part of this TED is design thinking. You don't really have to have a degree at design school. Surely we have top designers. We have talented designers from the Academy of Arts and Design at Tsinghua University. But you have to think like a designer. Think like someone to make some differences, to make things. Or you can design services, not always some hardware things you can touch. And we combine them together, meaning to innovate, to become a leader in innovation. You have to know three of them. You have to get training on these three items. You have to know technologies. You have to know how to make it happen, how to do business. And you also need to know how to design really for your user, for the society. Combine all together. So technology development means learning the fundamentals for developing end-to-end hardware and software, prototypes, systems, or tangible things. And the topics could be like managing data and signal processing, mobility and navigation. Entrepreneurship meaning understand the basics of a startup, including how to build a team, how to work with people with different backgrounds, how to promote your idea, how to convince people to change, and also have to know intellectual property law. To develop the skills and knowledge, bring innovations to the real world. Yes, daydreaming has a different meaning. It has to be true, not just daydreaming. And design thinking doesn't mean just design things intuitively. Design intuitive and elegant technology, solving a clear design problem, fits the needs of target people, target users. This is what we mean by interdisciplinary curriculum. And these are the examples of emerging technologies. The 5th generation new technology. And Internet of Things. Have you heard about Internet of Things? Meaning not just your computers, not just your smartphones. Things can be connected to the internet. Have you thought about your refrigerator at home talking to you? Have you thought about your car send you a message? It can happen. And also think about artificial intelligence, which is a very, very hot topic all over the world. And also a quite well-developed education direction at Tsinghua University. At Tsinghua University, you can learn artificial intelligence at different programs, different places. We don't just learn AI like in one course or one semester or one department. And I would like to address this idea a little bit more, design thinking. Originally, people from Stanford University started to implement and to address the importance in entrepreneurship. Design thinking is a discipline and uses designers' sensibilities and methods to match people's needs with what is technologically feasible. I'll give you one example. I had experience. There was a company approached me, say, hey, professor, you know technology, you know user, you know people, and entrepreneurship. That's design computers for younger children. Well, surely you heard about the story. It was a long time ago. And I thought about it. I asked a very simple question. Why young children why do they need a computer? Why do they want to use a computer? Sounds like a very simple question, right? But it was actually very important to me and to the company. And the company, yes, hey, yeah, let's think twice. It's a good example. Why do they need? When you were young, you had your computer. What did you use the computer? You know what? In China, I think parents or teachers will say, "Hey, we have computers. We have a chance, to learn, say English, to learn math, and computers." But what about younger children? Do you know what they want? I think you do. They like to play games. All right, very simple question. So for those people, for parents, teachers, want to buy computers to help their children for educational purposes. But maybe younger children just want to have some fun, just want to play, or just want to connect to their friends online, just want to chat online. All right, I have to stop here. I couldn't really share with the details how I collaborated with the company, but I just gave you one example of design thinking. How do we really innovate to match people's needs? Sometimes, actually, we make some errors. We make some mistakes. We have wild ideas. That's all right. We can try. We have chance. We have resources here at Tsinghua, meaning we have physically space. We offer a number of distinctive spaces for this collaboration and project and team-based learning. So we have an idea. We have in summer school, we have limited time. Many of you are not at Tsinghua, but you can imagine if you are here, you have a chance not just to meet each other. You have a chance to work on projects together. You have a chance to meet your teammates. And you can stay in the lab. Students have access to professional grade of equipment. Helps them to take their ideas from very low fidelity prototypes to high fidelity prototypes, even very close to real products. And you will have an opportunity to work with experts. We have expert staff to gain skill for your projects and interests to make your dreams true. All right, so again, you can see these happy faces and imagine how you can enjoy such kind of experience in the labs at Tsinghua University. There are different labs, different kinds of labs, and there are different students from different with different background in the labs. And also, as you can see, not just top students in China, even not just top students in Asia. We have top people, top students all over the world. More happy faces. Some of the faces happily presented their ideas and their results, starting from some wild ideas. They make prototypes. Some even started their own business. Let me give you some examples so you know what I'm talking about. All right, the first example is Patrick. He already finished his study with us. He's a data scientist, originally from Seattle, Washington, United States of America. And he did his bachelor's degree in the US, and later he joined our program. You know what he did? Water. We talked about innovation, we talked about global challenges, right? Yeah. Water is a very fundamental issue. Water may not be a problem for you, but it is a big problem for some people in the world. They may not have enough water. They may not have clean water. So what he did was he actually went to those places. I'm not sure how many places he really went, but I learned he stayed in Africa for a certain amount of time. He went there. He saw how people suffer. Again, no water or no clean water. In those places, without a modern water supplying system in modern cities, they rely on groundwater. They have to dig and dig and dig and find groundwater. And here comes a very simple issue. How much water left in the well? I know it's not a typical question in our textbooks. It is not. But it is a big problem in that real world. And Patrick found it. So he has been thinking about how to solve the problem. We can think of many expenses, very advanced technologies to deal with the problem, but that's not real. In those places, we just have to come up with some idea, very simple, very cheap, very easy to implement, and works very well. Well, you know what he did? He used smartphones. He used smartphones to record the sounds. So when people have to pump the water deeply in the well. For example, here, if those wells are about 5 meters deep, he recorded the sound of pumping and developed a machine learning simple model to measure the groundwater depth. So we can't really see through. We cannot see how much water left. But in this case, just apply the very simple technology. They know. Maybe not very precise. The arrow could be like 33 centimeters. But it works very well. See, that's one example when we talk about global challenges. Maybe you will say, hey, the technology-wise, think about a machine learning approach. It may not be, so exciting, but thinking about how can we apply a very simple technology, very simple thing, to address such an important issue. All right, next one. Phelps. Chen Xi. He becomes a software engineer at Amazon. He didn't do his bachelor's degree at Tsinghua. He was from Huazhong University of Science and Technology. And then later he joined Tsinghua. He joined with us. The challenge he has been dealing with is road safety. Do you drive? Do you agree? Road safety is a very important issue? Yeah, for sure. And I can tell you there are two major safety issues on roads in China and in many countries. First one, speeding. I think we know that. The second one, particularly for trunk drivers, is overload. Well, the reality is trunk drivers try to load, a little bit more on their trunks than they think they can make some money or save some money. But I think it can be very dangerous. When I say overloading, I'm not saying 5% overload or 10% overload. If you stay in the real world, I can tell you, we have seen 100% overload, meaning it is not supposed to carry such a number of things, but it carry too much. And right now, how do we deal with the issue? Trunk scales. Yeah, you say, hey, we already have that technologies, right? When the trunks drive through the toll gate, you can ask the trunk drivers to put it over and use the trunk scales. And then, hey, we know if you overload or not. But think about that. First of all, you must implement trunk scales at the toll gate. And trunk drivers will not be very happy because they have to stop. And also at the same time, you really have to have some people always ready, so that you can ask them to drive, to stay, or even wait for all the process working with the trunk scales. But Phelps was very smart. He found out there are surveillance cameras at most of the toll gates, not even toll gates. In many places, there are surveillance cameras. He could use that. So he developed a simple model just by the video clips recorded by these surveillance cameras. He can detect over 90% of the overload. That's a big change. And actually, that's a good thing also for those very good trunk drivers who never overload. You say, hey, why do I have to stop? I'm very okay. I really don't want to overload. But, policemen or law enforcement professionals ask me to stop. I have to stop. And later I have to, drive a little fast so I can catch up. Just by very simple technologies. He made changes. So the roads become safer. And you can also imagine this technology can be implemented, not just in China, in many other places. Comparing with the trunk scales implemented in the toll gates, this technology is much, much, much cheaper. And also effective. Precise enough. All right. Road safety is about human lives, right? The next example. Yan Kong. He finished his study of master, and then he became a PhD student at Tsinghua University. You know what he did? He saved lives. He saved babies. How? Let me tell you the problem a little bit so you can figure out. He did a research on the electronic fatal heart rate monitoring. Basically, for pregnant ladies, it is very important to know the status of the babies. So the electronic fatal heart rate monitoring has become a very important procedure of examination in hospitals. And those equipments are very expensive, difficult to operate. Surely, in big cities like Beijing, in Shanghai, it's not that difficult. Here in Beijing, we can download some apps. We can reserve and register online, and then show up at the hospitals, and get all the examinations. But again, not all the places, like Beijing, like Shanghai, like big cities, or like where you are, with such modern, available healthcare service systems. But people have smartphones, right? So Yan developed a very, very simple model. Simple. We have to be very frank. This model is not comparable with the equipment at hospital, but it's available. So by using the very simple model application, the smartphone, the fatal heart rate monitoring can be done at homes by those pregnant ladies or their families. And here you can see in the picture, you see the happy faces, you see the happy mother, because her baby had some troubles, and she had a chance to use Yan's model, Yan's application, and then she had a chance to go to a hospital fast enough to save her baby. So she was so happy. And not just this one single case. Again, this may not be a very, very precise technology. It is not comparable with the medical equipment at hospitals, but it can be applied in many places. Saved lives. Next one. Ken. Ken finished his study, and then again at Tsinghua, and then go on to University of Toronto to continue his PhD. He used wireless earphone. You probably have it. You use it to enjoy music, but can't see different utilities. Say, hey, there are microphones, right? So it can detect the status of sleep. Well, snoring, basically. So while we are asleep, these wireless earphones can record, noises. By analyzing all the noises, the patterns, somehow it can detect health-related sleep events, working with medical doctors. Sounds very nice, right? One more. Not just sleeping. Hey, what happened? I cough. Yeah, I did it on purpose. Jay. He has not decided, where he wants to work with. But anyhow, he has started his career after his study with us. He used earphones to record what? Coughing, the sound of coughing, with some patterns. So by studying this data, he can enable the microphones to continuously cough as a continuous cough event detector. Very simple things, right? All right. I don't have that much time, so I'd like to continue and sharing with you the last one, the last example. Yuzhou has developed such kind of a acoustic position tracking model and system. He's a system called ReflectTrack. It's a novel 3D absolute acoustic position tracking system. Hey, why do we need that? Potentially, this technology can be applied for hearing impairment of visually impaired people. Again, helping people with special needs. All right, just to summarize all the examples. You see, they come from different places with different background. And the questions they had were how to make impacts, like how to save lives, how to be healthy, how to get clean water for people. How can we make our roads very safe? These are simple questions. But they do not just stay with the simple questions. They move on. They went to the places, they see people's needs, and then they come back to look for solutions. Not just always the very top, very excellent, very expensive solutions. They want to see the most feasible, easy to implement, easy technologies for more people. And you see, these are just some of the examples for this year and last year's students. There are thousands of students at Tsinghua universities every year get their degrees, master's degree and a PhD degree. And you see some of the students did an excellent job for their master's study, and then they continue. They love innovation. They want to lead in innovation. All right. I'd like to thank you for your attention, and again, I look forward to interesting questions and see how we can go one more step to develop leaders in innovation.
Well, thanks, Professor Rau, for sharing insights on developing leaders in innovation and for providing some fantastic examples of Tsinghua and GIX graduates applying their innovative thinking in their careers and in the real world. This is an integral theme in GSS 2021, and there are some great questions that are coming through. The first question is, should innovative leaders be the most innovative persons on the team?
Very good question. Sometimes. Meaning, an innovative leader is a person who can influence people to innovate. Meaning, not all the ideas coming from this leader. Think about you as a leader. You can bring very talented people together. It is very difficult. Talented people are not supposed always to work together very easily. And people with different background. You may find someone who really had great, brilliant ideas on some areas, but others, have different experiences. So the question is very simple. Innovative leader doesn't always have to be the most innovative person. I even see teams with leaders without so many ideas, but who can always help others to develop ideas. Well, you know what? I'm talking about myself. As a professor, I'm happy to work with many innovative students. I think they're so young, so talented. My job is to help them, to develop them. So the question is very simple. I think you already get the idea very, very well. Leaders in innovation, influence others, influence group to be effectively to innovate. Good question. Thank you.
The second question is, what advice can you give to young talents, particularly those who have limited opportunities to travel and study abroad in the post-COVID era, to cultivate their leadership and innovation skills?
Also very good question. I think we're very happy to see we have internet. without internet, I couldn't imagine how can we, how can we have a global summer school like this. So the first advice is you made the right decision to join our summer school. And this is the model. I mean, Tsinghua doesn't just have this one single summer school, right? Tsinghua has more programs, longer programs. So if you have a chance to participate such kind of a programs, I really encourage you to do so. Here at Global Summer School, you will work with people from all over the world. You will meet other young talents. And the next advice will be reading. We can learn a lot of successful cases. We can learn from great innovators in the world. We can learn from how they influence other people. I think with internet, with some cases and stories of great innovators, you can develop, you can cultivate your leadership and innovation skills. And also, don't forget our TED model. You need to, more or less, you need to know technology, right? And also think about entrepreneurship. And don't forget, we need to design things, not just technology-wise it works. Also, it has to be a good product or service so people like to use. So think about the three things all together, meaning you have a chance to read, to acquire knowledge regarding technologies, surely I encourage you to. And also successful business cases and good examples of successful products and services. Again, this is a great question. And also think about how can we address this global challenge. And you see, Tsinghua Global Summer School is our approach, our solution to address this global challenge. And I think you will have a wonderful experience. You will experience this very wonderful summer school. Thank you.
Great. It's great to see that GSS 2021 is part of the solution on this question. The third question is, what suggestion can you give on the debate between generalists versus specialists? Which is better?
Okay. This is a very classical question. Really, people debate about that. So, some people who can do many things, but there are also some people who are really expert in some specific areas. I can share with you, I think we need both. This is why we address project-based learning so much. Anyhow, we need generalists. We also need specialists. Innovative leaders have to learn how to bring these two types of people together, which means, first of all, you need to identify yourself, recognize your strengths. You want to be, or you are more like a generalist? Do you have wide interest on things? If you're not, that's very okay. Maybe you want to focus on a specific topic or area to become a specialist at one subject, which is very good. Either way, we have to know how to work with each other. So for an innovative leader, you need to communicate. Sometimes you even need to find a way. You need to balance the opinions of generalists and specialists. So I encourage you, first of all, to recognize your own strengths. Are you more like a generalist? But don't just think you can just be one of the two. It's not just like the a very single choice. Right now, you can be a specialist in one area. For example, if you like, say, computer science, if you like AI, you go dig into the area, become a specialist first. And after certain experience, after certain time, you can develop yourself as a generalist. You can play in different roles in different teams. So that is my suggestion. Understand yourself and learn to be one and to play different roles in different teams. Thank you.
Well, that brings our second masterclass to a close. We thank Professor Rau for those valuable insights. And we thank GSS participants for that lively interaction and those great questions. So just a reminder about the Masterclass 3 will commence tomorrow, Beijing time at 9 a.m. That's the 29th of June for people all around the world. 29th of June, 9 a.m. Beijing time. We'll be enjoying a masterclass on positive psychology for the post-pandemic era. So for now, we say goodbye from the Tsinghua campus, and we thank you, and we thank Professor Rau once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.